how to start jumping rope in 2024. There are a lot of jump ropes on the market. There are a lot of different strategies and how to get started, what to do, who to listen to, who not to listen to. I'm gonna cut right to the chase and tell you how I think it's best to start jumping rope today. First thing is to understand what the different types of ropes serve, the purposes they serve. You have a lot of different types of jump ropes out there. It can be overwhelming. There are lighter ropes, which are used for double unders, mainly for CrossFit. There are PVC ropes, which are more all-purpose jump ropes for working out, for double unders, multiple unders, and also for beginners because they offer more weight. There are long-handled jump ropes, which are more for freestyle and tricks. Get a basic understanding of what the different types of jump ropes are, and then make a purchase of the type of jump rope that you want to suit your needs. If you're just starting to go to a CrossFit gym, you may want to buy a PVC jump rope to practice, and then a lighter jump rope like the RX Smart Gear, one of the RX Smart Gear jump ropes, which are specifically designed for double unders. So what you want to do is take 10-15 minutes to watch a couple YouTube videos, educate yourself on the different types of jump ropes, and then make a purchase based on that. A recommendation I have for you is to find someone or a group of jump rope influencers or jump rope content creators on YouTube and follow those people. Follow those people after you make an assessment on the style that resonates the most for you. It could be this channel, it could be another channel. Make sure that the person you follow or the people you follow, you make that decision after listening to them, watching a couple of their videos, and that you become a student but not a follower, that you don't follow blindly. You don't follow anybody blindly. I've seen this happen plenty of times in the jump rope community and also in the larger community as people become enthralled and almost entranced by certain creators, whether it's in the jump rope space, the personal finance space, whatever, and they stop thinking critically and they do whatever that person says. If you're somebody who watches this channel, and I appreciate you if you do, I want you to think critically about what I'm saying. I don't want you to just follow blindly a jump rope review that I make. My opinions are my opinions. You should think critically when you're following jump rope influencers, jump rope content creators, or anybody for that matter. You should always subject what people say, anything someone says, into question and use your own mind to come to the product of your own conclusions. And if the product of your own conclusion is that you want to follow this channel, you want to follow another channel, you want to follow a blog that doesn't have a channel, whatever, and their advice and their approach to jump rope resonates with you, then definitely do that. But make sure that the person you follow, the people you follow, who you're getting advice from as far as perfecting and starting your jump rope craft, make sure that you think critically about the people or the person that you follow. After you find a good instructor, a good YouTube channel, a good content creator, you want to make your purchase. You want to get a jump rope. It's going to be impossible to jump rope if you don't have a jump rope. My recommendation for people who are just beginning to jump rope, I have two recommendations. The first is to get a cheaper PVC rope. Costs $5, $10. I like to use Punk Rope. I'm not an affiliate of Punk Rope, but I do know the Punk Rope creator. I do know the owner of Punk Rope. I met him in person. He's been on a podcast that I used to do on this channel a couple years ago. Great company. They offer cheaper jump ropes that offer the feedback and the weight that you need to establish the brain and muscle connection to be able to do a jump rope repetition in the first place. So what you want to do, the first thing I recommend is to get a cheaper PVC rope, a 5mm PVC rope, so that you have the weight that you need to establish your baseline of coordination. The reason that I say that you should get a cheaper jump rope is there's a possibility that you may not like jump rope. Jump rope is not an intuitive practice. It's not something that most people can pick up and do with no problem. It requires a different kind of coordination than it takes to run. It requires a different kind of coordination than it does to play basketball or soccer or most sports out there. I would compare jumping rope to playing golf in that sense. Golf is not something that you can just pick up. It's not. I tried to play golf. I was athletic in high school. I thought that I could just pick up a golf club and I could swing and I would at least get close to the green. I was completely wrong about that. I did not do a good job. I was not a natural at golf, but I don't think anyone's a natural at golf. The same applies to jump rope. There are a few people who can pick up a jump rope and start jumping with virtually no problems. It just doesn't happen. We don't have that type of coordination programmed into us. It's something that has to be learned. That's why I would recommend getting a cheaper jump rope, because you might decide that it's not worth the time to start jumping rope. You might say that you don't have the time, you don't want to spend the energy, and you don't have the motivation to do it. And that is completely fine. That's completely fine. Life is short. There are a lot of things that you could be doing aside from trying to learn a new skill. You could be applying that time elsewhere. There's an opportunity cost to all the time that you're spending. So if you make a $5, $10 purchase and it's a decent jump rope, like a rope from Punk Rope or a rope from Elite SRS, you haven't wasted a lot of money. And what you've done is you paid $10, $15 to understand that jump rope's just not for you. The second recommendation that I make along these same lines is to buy a more expensive jump rope that has a warranty. A good example of this would be Crossrope. Crossrope has a 60-day, at the time of this recording, Crossrope has a 60-day money-back, no questions asked guarantee. Their ropes are quite expensive, but I've been using them since July 2018, almost 6 years now at the time of this recording, and I still have the same ropes that I use. The handles have a lifetime warranty. What this insurance policy does is it protects you from spending $100 on a jump rope, figuring out that you don't like it after 2 weeks, and then being completely stuck with your purchase. That's going to create buyer's remorse, and that's going to create a lot of frustration. If you're someone who has tried to get in shape using multiple methods and you haven't been able to do it, that's going to severely affect your psyche. You're going to say something to the effect to yourself, oh, I can't do anything right. I just spent $100. I don't have the motivation to do this. With a company like Crossrope, they offer that 60-day money-back guarantee without any questions asked. 60 days is long enough to figure out if you're going to be able to sustain a good jump rope practice, jumping rope 3 to 5 days a week for 10 or 15 minutes. The most important thing is to just start somewhere. In the fitness community, something that I know I've done in the past when I wasn't in good shape, and that a lot of people do, because getting in shape is not, and exercising is not pleasant when you're out of shape, is they take forever to just start doing something, whether that's running, whether that's jumping rope, whether that's lifting weights, whether it's calisthenics, whatever the activity is. They want to make sure that they're educated enough. They want to make sure that they find the perfect trainer. They want to make sure that they have the perfect environment. They want to make sure that they have the perfect jump rope, the perfect equipment. And what ends up happening is they waste time trying to set up and establish the perfect environment, when the most important thing is to just take action. The most important thing is to just start. It can be a 40 or 50% solution, but if you just start exercising, if you just start jumping rope, if you just start lifting weights, you're going to be farther ahead, and you're going to start creating a habit of exercise, a habit of jumping rope. All you're doing, if you're delaying and procrastinating and you're making the excuse, and your excuse to procrastinate is that you want to be more educated, you want to watch more videos, you want to be perfect, all you're doing is just delaying what you need to do most, which is getting out into the gym, getting to your garage with the jump rope, and taking action. Tony Robbins' content always speaks to me. He was doing this seminar one time, and he told this story about someone he was coaching. And he was trying to figure out what this person needed to get in shape. And this person was saying, well, I just need to find the perfect trainer. I just want to make sure that I have the perfect shoes. I just want to make sure I have this. And he said something to the effect of, okay, you don't need any of that. All you need is someone who's going to get behind you and just yell, run. That's all you need, because what you're doing is you're delaying. You're delaying the actions that you need to take most, which is to get out on the track, get your shoes on, pick up your jump rope, and start doing something. That's all you need to do. So what I would encourage you to do is to take 10, 15 minutes to educate yourself, but make it a simultaneous iterative process. So you don't need to be knowing which are the best jump rope companies out there. You don't need to be completely educated on the different types of jump ropes. You just need to watch a 5-10 minute video on YouTube. That's all you need to do. Get your jump rope, get out there, and then When you've done your first couple sessions, go back to the videos from the people that you're following and the people that you're using to instruct your jump rope practice. See what they're saying, try to inculcate some of their methods and some of their practices into your practice, and make it that continuous feedback loop. What you want to do is get into that feedback loop of practice, learn from the people that you are following, practice and apply what you learn, apply, practice. You want to get into that feedback loop. If you're delaying and you're procrastinating, you're outside of the feedback loop. You're not in the feedback loop of continuous improvement. And you can do these things iteratively, you can do them simultaneously. So the key is to just start. Once you've started, it's important to not do too much at once. What you don't want to do once you've just started, especially if you don't have a history of being athletic, if you don't have a history of exercise, and you are figuring that jump rope is going to be your primary source of exercise, what you don't want to do is get into the gym or get to wherever you're jumping rope and do an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours of jump rope. Number one, it's not going to be sustainable. Two, you might trip quite a bit if you've never jumped rope before and get frustrated. And three, you're going to be very sore after jumping that much. You want to break it down into sessions of 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes of jumping at a time. And in between the jump rope repetitions, the jump rope sets, maybe do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do an ab exercise, some planks, something along those lines. There are a lot of great workouts. There's workouts on this channel that you can follow, beginner workouts on this channel. If you have the cross rope system, there's workouts in the app. There's all sorts of workouts on YouTube that you can follow. There's the jump rope dudes, you can follow them. There's a ton of resources out there for beginners, and if you're past the beginner level, for intermediate and advanced. Follow what these people are doing, because these people have been jumping rope for a long time. They know how to progress over time to building that baseline of coordination and also building the cardiovascular ability to be able to jump rope for 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes at a time. So start slowly. I've gotten Instagram messages and Facebook messages and also messages and comments on YouTube where people are saying, my calves are killing me. I don't know how to sustain. It's probably because they're trying to do too much at once. And while the effort is good, while the intention is good, you want to get out there, you want to get after it, you want to exercise as much as possible. If you haven't jumped rope before, and especially if you don't have an athletic background, it's going to be very difficult and frustrating to start jumping all at once. You want to break it down. You want to eat the elephant one bite at a time, is what I would say, and break it down. And if you are feeling sore, there's a difference between being injured and just having a little bit of pain. And I think it's important to understand the difference. If you just have a little bit of pain and you feel like you can jump through it, then try. But if you're injured, if you are getting to the point where you try to do a jump rope repetition and your legs are on fire and your shoulders are on fire, you got to listen to your body, take a rest, put some ice on it, maybe go walk on the treadmill or walk outside for your exercise. Do something and then return to the jump rope when you're feeling better. Key is to not try to do something too much at once. It's easy to get excited about the idea of jump rope, about doing something new, but pace yourself. Listen to your body so that you don't sustain an injury that could keep you from jumping rope for weeks or months at a time. The last piece of advice is just keep practicing. Keep practicing. Find a system. Build a system that works for you. You have to have time to get better at jump rope. You have to have time to improve at jump rope. Working out in the morning has always been best. Working out in the morning has always been best. That's what I've been trained to do for the past 15 years as a soldier, is to work out in the morning. Working out in the morning is probably the best system to sustain over the long term. Working out, getting up at about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and working out between 6:30 and 7, because that's before everyone else starts waking up and you can actually take control of your day. You have complete control of your day. Everybody is asleep who has obligations that they need you to fulfill for them. So that's the time where you can take care of yourself. And exercise truly is one of the best ways to take care of yourself, whether it's jump rope, whether it's running, whether it's walking on the treadmill or outside, weightlifting, calisthenics, whatever. If exercise could be bottled and prescribed to people, it would likely be the most prescribed drug in the world because of the benefits that it has on your body, the benefits that it has on your brain, and the benefits that it has on your mental well-being, the benefits that it has for your mental well-being. So you have to establish a system, and you have to block your time during times where no one's going to bother you. And I know that sounds callous to say, but it's just the truth, and it's just me being real. As soon as you start getting around 8 or 9 in the morning, for most people, if you work a regular 9 to 5 job, you're going to start getting emails, you're going to start getting calls, you're going to start getting all sorts of messages and people saying, can you do this? I need to talk on the phone with you. What about this report that was due? What about this, and that? And then your time is not your own anymore. And it becomes difficult to say to the person, hey, can you just leave me alone for a little bit? Of course, you're going to be more professional than that. You're going to say, hey, I need to do my workout. But people are not going to understand, especially since most Americans and most people don't exercise anyway. People are not going to understand if you don't get back to them right away because you were exercising. So the best time to do it is in the morning time when people are not bothering you, for lack of better words, when people are not bothering you to fulfill the obligations that they've created for you to do for them. In the evening time is also good, but people are awake in the evening, and sometimes the workday bleeds into the evening. 1700 is normally when operations are supposed to stop, but if you're in a 24-hour-a-day job like me or like most people, even in the private sector, that bleeds over into 18, 19, 2000 or 8 o'clock, and people are going to expect a response. People are going to expect a response. There's also family. A lot of people have kids. Kids are demanding. So you have to understand which systems work best for you and which time of day works best for you, and create a system around that. If you are a more regimented person and you have an app, the Crossrope app is a good way to get your workouts in. There's a ton of workouts on there. There's a lot of YouTube channels you can follow where people have pre-recorded workouts that you can follow along. If you like to do your own workout, then create your own workouts, create your time, and make sure that you get it done. Because if you don't have systems, like James Clear said, systems over goals. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. If you don't have a good system in place, you might be able to do your workout for 2 or 3 days. You might be able to follow something, but if you don't have a good system set up, if you don't have a good schedule set up, it's going to be difficult to maintain over time.